David, on that matter, when will you announce a new Deputy Secretary for the Capability and Sustainment Group, which will be crucial for that?
We'll announce that in due course.
Minister, no disrespect to the men you've selected here, but they are all men. When will the military have a female service chief at least? Was there any consideration given to filling that role, as some people in defence have sort of suggested that there might have been?
Look, it's a really good question, and again, I mean, yes, there's consideration. Ultimately, the decisions have been made against the backdrop of who we believe are the most capable people to fill these roles, but it is a really relevant question. It's very important that the Australian Defence Force looks like Australia in terms of its diversity. And I know that in General Campbell's time there has been a real emphasis on improving the diversity of the Defence Force so that it does look more like Australia. But there is a way to go. There's not gender equality in terms of the numbers of representatives within our Defence Force right now, although having said that, there are a rising number of women within the Defence Force. In due course, though, you know, we need to see that filter through to our most senior leadership, and I actually think it's really important that the question that you've asked of me today is a question that is consistently asked of people in my position when making these announcements.
Acting Prime Minister, can I ask you?
Sorry.
You mentioned before the importance of stability and continuity. So what was behind the decision to have new leadership of the Army, of the Navy, of the Air Force, as opposed to sticking with the current chiefs, like Camp, for instance?
Sure. I mean, it's a balance, and what we're seeking to do is to, have new people involved, which is who we've been announcing today, while at the same time maintaining a continuity at the very top. It is not normal. In fact, it's unusual, although not unprecedented, to have a Chief of Defence Force serving what will be for 6 years. But the starting point, in fact, would have been that those terms would not have been extended for 2 years. But to extend these 3 positions by 2 years really is being done with trying to maintain continuity, and it's a really important step.
Minister, what do you say to the thesis that we are part of an unthinking alliance and that AUKUS reflects us being an arm of simply US strategic policy when, and if the CDF could comment on this as well, when we should have more capacity to defend ourselves on our own 2 feet, looking not just into the next few years but the next decade or beyond?
The Albanese government will have a focus on sovereign capability, Australian sovereign capability. We do participate in an alliance with the United States. It is really important that we maintain those relationships, and it's not just with the United States. We have a growing trilateral relationship, for example, with the United States and with Japan. I've just come back from India, where we're seeking to build our engagement with India. But through all of those relationships, including with the United States or a country like New Zealand, maintaining Australian sovereign capability is profoundly important. And that's really important when we're talking about the way in which we evolve our submarine capability. What a submarine capability does is build strategic space for our nation. It's not just about how we might engage in a conflict. It is about building strategic space for our nation when it comes to trade and diplomacy and our place in the world. And so sovereign capability is fundamentally important, and that is the philosophy behind that will underpin the way in which the government will go forward.